Video games. They make people feel good, right? I mean, life sucks. There's so many things that we have to deal with each and every day, and video games can be one of those things that either helps us get away or recognize the important things in life. Now, I know most people think that video games is just a way for us to disconnect from the real world and forget about our problems, which for a lot of people that might be true. But today we want to talk about something a little more important. Over my many years of playing games since I was a kid, I've learned that certain games or characters have become a point of attachment. You can learn from these characters and stories. They teach you about yourself, and you can learn things about life in general. In media, this is usually reserved for other art forms like music, paintings, movies, maybe TV shows like Gilmore Girls. But jokes aside, it seems like finding these emotional connections in video games today is something that is either unrecognized or just completely ignored. Maybe we just play too much Call of Duty in Farmville. But this video is about good games. So let's talk about Majora's Mask. Now this game is all about marching around as a chicken leader. But for real, this game has such an interesting world. The world is lush and full of characters that are ready to see their last days. The quest usually consists of Link helping someone realize their purpose in life. The game does this weird thing where it makes you care about the characters. The most notable quest that accomplishes this is in Ikana Valley. You help this little girl heal her dad of this terrible disfiguration that the Skull Kid has malevolently bestowed upon him. After you save him, there's a heart-wrenching and personal scene with the little girl hugging her dad. It's touching. As I played through this, tears were brought to my eyes, and it made me thankful for my family. It made me thankful that they're okay. Video games can do that for us, and I think that Daniel here can say the same.
Like Nick, I have played a lot of emotional games in my life. Some examples are Shane's Side Quest in Stardew Valley, Everything in the Shadow of the Colossus, that one scene from The Last of Us, and Elmo's 1-2-3s. But there is one game that has always stuck with me as an emotional game. That game is Firewatch. Fire Dude is a game about a man running away from his past. The game begins with an almost too real introduction about Henry, the main character, and his wife Julia. This prologue sequence lets you take part in the beginning and the falling apart of their relationship. Henry's wife, Julia, suffers from dementia farther into their relationship, and as a player, you get to see how this affects their marriage. It's really, really sad. I mean, the only happy part in this part is the part about a dog named Bucket. My cousin has a dog named Bucket, and he's really cool, he's really awesome. I love that dog, oh my gosh. This part has made a huge impact on me. It makes me want to be a better husband. It makes me want to stick with my wife no matter what happens. It makes me appreciate what I have right now, because really, anything could happen to my wife and I. You don't know what's gonna happen in this world, and you don't know what's gonna happen in your life. And I'm not saying Henry's a bad guy, but I think I would have reacted differently to the situation if I was in his place. And it's honestly crazy that a video game can make you think about stuff like this. I mean, like Nick said earlier, a lot of people think of video games as a mindless waste of time. Boo, boo, bee, boo. But they really can make you think about the important things in life. And there's a game that Nick and I want to talk about in particular that has really struck a strong note in our lives. Earthbound! I love this game. This game's my favorite. This game is the best. I love this game so much. There's so much I can talk about with this game, from the music to the freaking final boss, and to the drugs and Moonside. That part's freaking crazy. But I want to focus on the relationship that Ness has with his mom. You know, I'm kind of what you may call a mama's boy. But you kind of have to be a mama's boy in Earthbound if you want to succeed. In this game, you can suffer from homesickness if you don't call or visit your mom enough. Calls are pretty sweet, they get the message across, but my favorite thing is going home in this game. You can go home at any time in the game, and when you do so, your mom will send you up to bed and then she'll cook your favorite food. I like pizza. And although it does this every time you go home in the game, it always feels so good. For me, it really triggers a cozy feeling and makes me feel all fuzzy inside. It makes me think about my hometown, makes me think about my family, and it makes me think about really all of the little things in my life. And all of these little things are what makes life worth living. Earthbound is so amazing in its emotional impact because it reminds me of these little things. The things that make me, me, and what have made up my life. It is a mix of happy, sad, grateful, hopeful, and more. It makes me feel a little bit of everything. And that's why I love this game so much.
Earthbound thrives on a deep and personal narrative which constantly reminds the player of their heroic quest. As you navigate through Eagle Land, you meet a number of diverse characters that are flat out hilarious. From farting guys to total assholes, to completely strange and out in left field, Earthbound keeps you laughing. Not only is this game funny, but it also reached me in my feels. Nessa's journey and character is one that I feel like I can relate to. I played this game for the first time as a 25-year-old that had just gotten out of a terrible relationship, but nonetheless a relationship with someone that I loved a lot. I had reached a point in my life where I'd never felt lower. My self-esteem was gone, I was depressed, and I hated life. Quite honestly, I didn't even really like the idea of living anymore. There comes a point at the end of Earthbound where you and your party are stuck in the depths of darkness. You face a force called Gygus that is so powerful that your abilities and strengths that you have developed throughout the game are no match. The only way to beat Gygus is by praying with one of your team members. Your prayer reaches all of the characters that you meet throughout your journey, and they will you to defeat this awful force. Much like Ness, I too was stuck fighting a force that seemed so much greater and stronger than me, and this game gave me hope. By the end of the game, I had realized myself as an individual again. I was reminded of who I was and why I needed to live. To me, Earthbound is the pinnacle of emotional video games. It gave me resolve and a new sense of commitment to being a better person. And as weird as it sounds, I probably wouldn't be who I am today without it.
Thanks for watching the video.
Make sure to comment and talk about your favorite emotional games and why they're important to you. Subscribe! Woo!